Throwaway for obvious reasons. I feel like I'm going crazy, questioning my best friend's business and these weird client meetings, and I don't know if I'm overreacting. She moved in 4 months ago to get her life coaching business off the ground, and I'm starting to wonder what kind of coaching happens at 10 p.m. with guys who never show their faces. Am I the idiot for asking why all her clients only want to meet at night? So I, female, 26, have been letting my best friend from college, let's call her Maya, female, 27, live with me rent-free since February. She got kicked out of her last place and asked if she could crash just for a couple weeks while she got her life coaching business going. You know how these things go. 4 months later, she's still here, and I'm covering our entire $1,400 rent plus utilities on my $42 clinic salary. I need to give some background because, honestly, I think I'm part of the problem here. I became the person everyone comes to when they need help, you know? Like I automatically say yes to covering dinner, lending money, letting people stay over. It's just what I do now, I guess. So when Maya needed a place, of course I said yes. Maya has always been good at talking people into things, and she got her business degree right when the job market was absolute shit. She's been bouncing between random jobs ever since, but she's always talking about her entrepreneurial spirit and how she's going to make it work. When she moved in, she had all these business planners and self-help books and was constantly talking about building her client base and growing her coaching practice. I work at a healthcare clinic doing admin stuff, and I've been picking up extra shifts to cover the full rent because I keep thinking it's temporary and I'm helping someone I care about get back on their feet, right? But honestly, it's been killing me financially. I'm basically paying an extra $700 a month I don't have. Anyway, here's where things got weird. Tuesday night, I came home absolutely dead tired from a 12-hour shift, and I immediately started reorganizing our kitchen because that's what I do when I'm stressed about money. Maya comes out of the bathroom in this low-cut black top with full makeup, and I asked if she was going out. She told me she had a client video call at 9:30 p.m. for a video call with a client. I didn't say anything, but I realized this was like the third time this week I'd seen the exact same thing. Her getting all dressed up for these late-night calls. What kind of life coaching happens at 9:30 at night? I mean, maybe I don't understand business, but isn't that kind of weird? So Wednesday, I had to run out for groceries because we were completely out of food and I needed to use my clinic employee discount at the 24-hour store to save money. Yes, my life is that pathetic right now. When I got back around 10 p.m. with the bags, I'm putting stuff away in the kitchen and I can hear Maya through our super thin bedroom wall. And guys, she was not talking about life goals or career development. I heard her asking what would make someone feel satisfied with their sessions, but in this breathy voice that sounded really wrong. I'm not stupid. I know what that sounded like. I quietly moved closer to her door. I know that's bad, but I was freaking out. And she was definitely not discussing business strategies or whatever. I backed away and finished putting groceries away, but I couldn't sleep that night. Like, what the hell is going on? Is my best friend doing something else with these clients? Am I crazy for thinking this? This morning, I finally got the courage to ask her about it. I tried to be super careful because I know she gets defensive. I asked her why all her clients wanted to meet so late and if that was normal for coaching. She immediately got all defensive and snapped at me about how entrepreneurs work around other people's schedules and that I don't understand business. When I tried to ask more questions, she totally lost it and said I was being unsupportive of her goals. Then she stormed off to her room and slammed the door, and now things are super awkward. She's been avoiding me all day and I feel like shit for even asking. But also, what if I'm right? What if she's not actually running a life coaching business? I don't know what to think anymore. Part of me feels guilty for questioning her when she's trying to get her life together. But another part of me is like, I'm literally paying $1,400 a month so she can live here rent-free while she does. What exactly? Am I the idiot for asking about the late-night client meetings? Should I have just minded my own business? I don't want to kick out my best friend if she's legitimately trying to build a business, but I also can't afford to keep covering her expenses if something shady is going on. I'm so confused and stressed about this whole situation. Any advice would be helpful because I honestly don't know what to do here. Now for the first update. Okay, there's honestly so much happening right now, and I don't even know where to start processing all of this. Things got way more complicated since my last post about Maya's weird late-night client meetings. You guys were right, but it's even weirder than I thought, and now I'm more confused than ever. So first off, thank you to everyone who commented. After our awkward confrontation Thursday morning about the late-night meetings, I've been avoiding Maya, and things have been really awkward around here. She's been doing her usual thing where she acts like nothing happened, but also gives me these hurt looks whenever we cross paths in the kitchen. You know how it is. But anyway, here's what happened. Yesterday, I decided to look for a cheaper studio apartment. I've been so stressed about money. Like I mentioned, I'm covering our full $1,400 rent plus utilities on my clinic salary. And I know. I should have just asked her to leave. But honestly, I keep thinking maybe I'm wrong about everything, and I don't want to kick out my best friend if she's legitimately trying to build a business. So yesterday, I'm gathering all my financial paperwork for apartment applications, because apparently now you need like 3 years of bank statements just to rent a closet-sized place. I'm printing everything out and going through my Venmo history because some places want to see all your income sources now, which is ridiculous, but whatever. And guys, I found something that really surprised me. There are these monthly Venmo payments in my account totaling exactly $700. 3 separate payments from names I don't recognize. David Chen, M. Rodriguez, and James K. $300, $250, and $150. Every month. For the past 3 months. I literally stared at my phone for like 10 minutes trying to figure out what this was. At first I thought maybe my mom had been sending money and using different accounts or something. She does weird stuff with her banking sometimes. But these weren't from her. I confronted Maya about it this morning. I showed her the payments and asked if she knew anything about them. Her face went completely white, like genuinely shocked white. She stared at the Venmo history and kept saying, "I don't understand," over and over. Finally, she admitted that she gave my Venmo info to one of her clients who asked how he could help with her living situation. She swears she only expected maybe one small payment, not regular monthly amounts from multiple people. She said she had no idea other clients would do the same thing. But here's the part that's really messing with my head. I kept pushing her about how 3 different men somehow got my Venmo info, and she started crying, like full breakdown crying. She admitted that some of her clients aren't really getting life coaching. They're lonely married men who pay her for companionship and conversation. Those were her exact words. She swore up and down that it's just talking and emotional support, maybe dinner sometimes, but nothing physical. She kept saying they just need someone to listen to them and that their wives don't understand them. I know how that sounds. I don't even know how to process this. What exactly is she doing with these married men? She's insisting it's just emotional support. But why are they paying her $700 a month to help with my rent? That makes no sense. The whole conversation was so confusing because she was crying and saying she needed the money and couldn't get regular work, and she kept begging me not to judge her. She made it sound like she's basically a paid therapist for sad married guys. But also, that's not what life coaches do, right? Then I decided to call her sister to ask if their family had been sending money to help Maya out. I thought maybe the payments were from relatives or something, and Maya was just confused about the details. But her sister sounded genuinely shocked when I asked. She said she thought Maya had a thriving coaching business and was finally financially independent. She's been telling their mom how proud she is that Maya finally has steady income and is making it professionally. So Maya's been lying to her family too. They have no idea about any of this companionship money. Oh, and here's another weird thing that happened. My older brother stopped by yesterday to return the jumper cables he borrowed last week. When Maya was leaving for one of her appointments, he saw her in the hallway wearing business clothes. He mentioned that he's been seeing her regularly at his office building meeting with executives after hours. He works night security at some fancy downtown building, and apparently she goes there a lot. He said he didn't think much of it until now, but she always looks professional and goes to the upper floors where the executive offices are. I asked him why he didn't mention this before, and he got all weird and said he didn't want to get involved in other people's business. But guys, what kind of life coaching happens in office buildings at 10 p.m. with executives who are paying my rent without me knowing? I feel like nothing makes sense anymore. Part of me wants to believe Maya's story about just providing emotional support to lonely married men, but another part of me is like, this is not normal, right? Normal therapists don't have clients secretly pay their roommates rent. And now I'm wondering what other lies she's been telling. If she's lying to her family about having a successful business and lying to me about what her business actually involves, then what else don't I know? I can't afford to keep covering her expenses if this isn't legitimate, but I also don't know how to process what legitimate even means in this situation. Is getting paid for conversation and companionship by married men a real thing? Am I being naive for thinking this sounds wrong? I haven't said anything to Maya since our conversation this morning. She's been avoiding me again, and I can hear her in her room having her usual client calls. But now I'm listening differently, and honestly, it still doesn't sound like life coaching. I'm so overwhelmed, and I don't know what to do. Should I be grateful that her clients are apparently covering her portion of rent? Should I be concerned about what exactly she's doing to earn that money? Should I tell her family what's really going on? This whole situation has me questioning everything I thought I knew about my best friend, and I hate feeling this way. Edit 1. For those asking if I've kept the mystery rent money, yes. It's been automatically going into my account for months, and honestly, it's the only reason I haven't gone completely broke, so I haven't returned it yet. 2. No. I haven't confronted Maya about the specific office building visits yet because my brother asked me not to get him involved with his work, but now I'm wondering if I should ask more questions about these executive clients. Now for the second update. So things completely exploded, and I honestly don't even know where to start with everything that happened. After my last post about the mystery rent payments and Maya's companionship business with married men, I thought maybe I was overreacting, like maybe she really was just providing emotional support or whatever, and I was making it sound worse than it was. Some of you were telling me to dig deeper, but I kept second-guessing myself because she seemed so upset when she admitted it wasn't real-life coaching. But then my brother called 2 days ago asking if I wanted to grab coffee because something was bugging him about our conversation. My brother, let's call him Tyler, isn't usually the type to get involved in stuff like this. He's pretty much a mind-your-own-business kind of guy. So we meet at this coffee shop near his work, and he's all fidgety and keeps looking around like he's worried someone's going to overhear us. Finally, he tells me he's been losing sleep thinking about Maya and those late-night business meetings I mentioned. Here's the thing. Tyler works night security at this fancy downtown office building, and apparently he's been seeing Maya there regularly for months, not just once or twice, multiple times a week, going up to the executive floors after 10 p.m. He said he never thought much of it because she always looked professional, and he figured it was legitimate business stuff. But then Tyler tells me he just found out this week that his security company is losing the contract for that building, so everyone's being laid off next month. He says learning about the job loss made him realize he didn't want to stay quiet about something that was bothering him, especially since he won't be working there much longer anyway. Tyler pulls out his phone and shows me screenshots he took from the security monitors during his shifts. He explains that he started paying closer attention to the timing of Maya's visits after our conversation, and since he's leaving the job anyway, he grabs some screen captures to show me the pattern. I'm not kidding. He actually has pictures of Maya in the lobby from different nights. And guys, she's wearing exactly the outfits I've seen her in for her client calls. The low-cut tops, the full makeup, the business but not really business look. And then he tells me something that really shocked me. He's been overhearing conversations in the elevator between married executives who joke about private stress relief sessions and keeping the wives happy with overtime stories. Tyler said at first he thought they were just talking about actual therapy or something, but after seeing Maya so much and hearing the way they talked about it, I literally felt sick sitting there in that coffee shop. All the pieces were clicking together, and I realized Maya had been feeding me this bullshit story about emotional support and conversation, when clearly these married men were paying for something completely different. Tyler felt terrible for not saying anything sooner, but he said his job training is basically see nothing, hear nothing, and he didn't want to jump to conclusions. But seeing how stressed I've been about money, and knowing I'm covering Maya's expenses while she's doing whatever this is, he couldn't stay quiet anymore. I went home and waited for Maya to get back from wherever she goes during the day, probably planning her evening appointments. When she walked in around 6 p.m. that evening, I confronted her with everything Tyler told me. At first, she tried to stick with the executive coaching story. She said these were high-end clients who needed complete privacy about seeking help with work-life balance and stress management. Rich, powerful men can't be seen going to regular therapy, she said, so they pay premium rates for discreet professional development sessions. But when I mentioned the elevator conversations about stress relief and overtime stories, her whole expression just changed, like she knew she was caught. She started crying again and finally admitted the entire life coaching business is completely made up. She's been meeting married men for money and providing companionship services. Still her words, but now I know what that really means. These men pay her well, and some of them have given her building access through fake consulting contracts so they can meet without anyone questioning why she's there. The worst part is how she tried to justify it. She kept saying the men get what they want. The wives are happy thinking it's just work overtime, and nobody gets hurt because everyone gets what they want. Like, she genuinely believes this doesn't hurt anyone because it's supposedly a win-win situation. I was so angry I could barely speak. I told her she had 48 hours to pack her stuff and get out. I couldn't afford to keep paying for this, whatever this is, and I couldn't live with someone who's been lying to me for months about everything. But here's where it gets even more insane. Yesterday was packing day, and Maya's phone kept buzzing constantly with notifications. She was overwhelmed trying to sort through her stuff and asked me to check her phone to make sure I don't miss anything important while I'm packing. You guys, when I looked at her phone, it wasn't just the Venmo payments I'd seen before. She had like 4 different payment apps: Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, and there were dozens of payments from different men. The notes on them were things like, "Thanks for dinner," "Great conversation tonight," "Looking forward to next week," and other stuff that made it obvious this was way more extensive than she'd admitted. I screenshot everything before I gave her phone back. I was so shocked by how many different names and payments there were. This wasn't just 3 clients like she originally claimed. This was like an entire operation. After Maya moved out, her sister picked her up yesterday evening. I kept thinking about what my dad always said after his accident. He used to tell me that when people lie about serious things that affect other people, you have to make it public to protect the next person from being used. So I posted screenshots of the payment evidence to Instagram and Facebook. I wrote a caption explaining how my life coach roommate's actual business model involved married men paying for companionship, while I unknowingly covered her living expenses. I tagged our mutual college friends and Maya's sister. The post spread through our social circle really fast. I've been getting messages from friends thanking me for the warning because apparently Maya had been telling everyone the same successful business story. Some of them said they were considering asking her for business advice or even investing in her coaching practice. But then Maya's sister called me crying. She was confused and hurt about learning the truth through social media instead of from family. Apparently Maya has been telling their mom how proud she should be that Maya finally has steady income and is making it professionally. Maya's mom even reached out asking if this is really what happened to the daughter she was so proud of. The successful business story was like the one thing that made her feel like all the years of struggle as a single parent were worth it. I feel like I was right, but also really sad watching Maya's reputation completely fall apart. Even though she lied to me and used me, seeing her family's hope and pride get destroyed is pretty brutal. I know some of you are going to say I should have handled this privately, but honestly, I think other women deserve to know what they might be getting into if Maya tries to find another roommate situation. Nobody should have to unknowingly pay for this kind of business. I still can't believe this was my life for 4 months. I was literally working extra shifts to pay rent so my best friend could. I don't even want to think about it anymore. Edit. Since so many are asking, yes, I kept the mystery rent money that was coming into my account because returning it at this point seems impossible, and honestly, it's the only reason I survived financially these past few months. For those wondering if Maya tried to contact me after the post went viral, she sent one text saying I destroyed her life over nothing and blocked me everywhere. Her sister said Maya is staying with their aunt in another state until this blows over. No, I haven't heard from any of the married men, and I really hope I never do. I'm just trying to forget this whole situation existed. Yes, I realize posting screenshots was pretty extreme, but I learned from my dad that when people lie about serious things affecting others, you have to warn people. I don't regret protecting other women from getting used the same way. I'm moving to a studio apartment next month that I can actually afford on my own. Living alone is going to be so much better than wondering what kind of business meetings are happening in the next room.